Hi, I'm Matt with Schematical, and today I'm going to talk about some different types of pixel art diagrams I've been doing to illustrate how my business works. So I am a member of several mastermind groups. If you don't have a group of peers you can bounce ideas off of, I strongly suggest, if you're running your own business especially, go find some. So normally I talk about tech on this channel, but I've had a lot of people that I've been interacting with while I'm kind of expanding my social media presence and focusing on really taking the business and treating it like a business that have asked me a lot of questions about how I'm doing what I'm doing. And mind you, I'm no Zuckerberg or Gates or any of those guys. I'm just a guy talking to a camera in his office, his home office, with the pup sitting right over there. But I somehow can pay for this house doing what I do. So I'm going to go ahead and try and explain how my business works, my sales funnel, using of course my pixel art, my daily or weekly schedule, how I fulfill my clients' offerings, how I do it without actually charging hourly at all, and a couple other things. It's going to be a short video, but let's just dive right into it. If you like what I talk about, feel free to hit the like, share, subscribe. And if you need to engage my services, you can find me at schematical.com or all over the internet as Schematical for the most part, except Twitch. All right, so this is my funnel. I did not have time to animate it, but I probably could if I was inclined to. But let's start at the top here. So I am posting currently on X and really finding some traction in there. If you want to know how I'm doing that, message me. I'll save you, but actually engaging with actual people seems to help. ConvertKit is my mailing list. So if anybody's interested in signing up for my mailing list, you get all the fun comics and this type of art. LinkedIn is what I was supposed to be focused on, but I've got a lot more on X. YouTube, I've been doing since 2012, on and off, and I seem to be stuck at 1,500 subscribers. For some reason, I can't get past that. And Google, which really doesn't look good in this color for some reason. And Google is, of course, driving me search engine traffic. So there's a couple terms I've leveled up on, and people seem to be going there. Actually, most of my YouTube traffic is for keywords as well. I'm not doing that much viral content, it turns out. So people come from these various networks and they end up going to various pages on schematical.com. And the pages that I've got somewhat optimized right now at the top are the landing page for the mailing list, the landing page for the ebook, 20 things you can do today to save money on AWS, which I did a video on, and it's on that page, and some email courses I've been working on, how to understand your AWS bill. I am planning on doing other courses, possibly with other partners. Actually, let's go ahead and go to that flow. So I will eventually drive traffic to another series of paid video courses. I can't go into too much detail right now. And hopefully that video course will drive some traffic back to my site and give me some additional authority, is what we say the term is as a consultant. You want to have your domain expertise or authority, and you want to make sure that people know that you know your stuff. And so I've spent since 2010 working on AWS and architecting systems at scale, so that's kind of what I'm hoping people will believe I'm an authority on. Am I the guru? No, 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 no. There's never just one guru, especially in a field that big. But I can do it. I can make it happen. So if they are interested in seeing me help them scale or cut costs or occasionally security stuff, no one loves security until it's too late, and then they're like, oh, security, security. But I try and bake it into my products as I go, so they can sign up for a one-on-one consultation. And you can see he's got a little X-ray there. So, you know, I don't know. I was trying to think of a fun way to do consultation there. So that's a good one. If that works and they like what I'm doing, then they might sign up for office hours down here. Now, we're going to come back to that because there's a couple ways they can get office hours. Well, technically 2 ways. The other option is if they like the free products, they may go ahead and try out my group coaching. Now, I have not been pushing the group coaching a lot, but since I seem to be running into a lot of people on X and LinkedIn that are more developers, they're not like startups that usually hire me. They're more like individual developers that may want to step up their game and they're having trouble figuring out how to make it happen. Or it could be a startup that just can't afford the consultation. It's a bit earlier stage. You might enroll in this group coaching so your developers can get some help here. Because I'm trying to help as many people as possible. That's my goal, is to find clients where I can add millions of dollars worth of value to them with the one-on-one consultation. Now, if I find a client that I could probably only add, let's just say, tens of thousands of dollars of value to, then they're probably more fit for the group coaching. And I want to make sure they can get that help. And then if they grow bigger, and I mean, if they don't grow bigger, great. They get help that way. As I mean, you can also, there's developers that are so small, or groups that are so small, they might just get help from this stuff. You know what? I should have listed the Terraform open source scripts on here too. Either way, there's all sorts of things I'm doing for free to help people out. And then, I still have to pay my bills, so they may go ahead and join one of these other opportunities. And if they get big enough, then they might go to my office hours here. So the office hours, I will explain in more detail in another diagram, but basically I have 6 slots throughout the week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 1 p.m. and 3:30 p.m., in which case I do advisory and oversight. So a team can come to me with any problem they've got, and they get one-on-one, undivided attention on that problem for 2 hours. And a lot of times they come to me with plenty of problems, and it's good. They're not afraid to ask. If I was billing hourly, then sometimes there's is it going to cost us a lot? No, it's all included. You already know what it costs. Come ask me about it. I'll get into this a little bit more in the next slide, but there's also the other option, it's the nuclear option. And the differentiator there is that it's handwork. If I'm pulling the knobs, pressing the buttons, and switching the switches, if I'm pulling the knobs, pressing the buttons, and switching the switches, then that's what we call hands work. And I am perfectly capable of doing that, but that's not what most people want. Most people want me to train their team up so they've got their own internal team. So that's a big investment here, why people like the office hours. But sometimes you need to get the job done. And so if I'm writing code, then that's this. If I'm writing reports and kind of directing people and helping train your team up, that's more of this stuff. I'm happy to do both, but let me just show you how my schedule works and how this and this really play out. All right, this is how my consulting office hours work. So you probably don't need to know all this stuff about my day, but it's funny and entertaining, I think, so I'll put it in there, especially this guy down here. I love these. It's really turned out well. I digress. So the important part about this diagram is really this area here. This is what I deliver to clients. So client 1 has office hours there, client 2 office hours there. You could have it so client 1 has 2 times a week office hours, or sometimes I even do it so you could have like every other week. This is the every other week slot a lot of times. And here you can see these guys are in trouble, and I'm there to help. In case it's not obvious, I personify myself as this robot. It made more sense when I had a team of people, but it kind of became my logo, so. But yeah, we'll go through kind of my whole schedule for the week, because it's an interesting, I'm told it's interesting. It's a novel model. A lot of people don't land on this, and they get stuck on hourly, and I mean, there's a time and a place for hourly, but I try to avoid it if possible. So, 6 a.m. rolls around, I'm usually up, I journal, sometimes I'll walk the dogs, or at least feed the dogs, tend to the dogs, make sure they don't chew my leg off. Take care of the morning basics. I'm big on visualization, meditation, mindset, journaling, and affirmations, things like that. It sounds a bit woo-woo-y, but if you don't believe it's possible, you're not going to make it possible. So at least this way I go down swinging. So with that said, Monday mornings I've got to do admin. I also have to take out the trash in case I forgot to the night before, but that's not important. I do admin, so that means running payroll and making sure all that stuff is up and running, a lot of financial junk there. Then I've designated the time from 9 to 11 as lead gen. In reality, I've greatly expanded that, but that's the beauty of the schedule, is it's actually really flexible. And I will go more into that in a second. You know what? No, I'll go more into it right now. You could book yourself solid. You say, why don't you just have your entire thing, just these blue things, so you're just solid booked and you're making money? Well, the way I do things is I give people unlimited access to my time, subject to mutual availability. That's very important, and that is not the fine print. That is front and center. It's very important they understand that. So basically, just because I have these office hours does not mean that is the only time you can access me. You can send me an email any time of day. I've had clients ping me somewhere around here. I was not at jiu-jitsu, and they had a site outage, and I jumped on because I was mutually available. And had I not been available, had I been on the mats there or something, I would have gotten to it as soon as possible. But I don't do outage stuff anymore. I train people to do first tier response. I'm the guy you come to if you really, really can't figure it out. But I do not do tier 1 response or on call duty or anything like that. I am but I will respond if I am available as quickly as possible. One of the reasons I don't dedicate that much time, there's so much extra time in here, especially this overflow time, which I'm going to get into in a minute, is because I need to be able to be flexible with my client. So if a client hits me up on Monday and theoretically I'm not in the middle of filming a video like this, which it is a Monday right now, I would answer it instantly. Now, if I got a call from the CTO of one of my companies that if they go down, they're losing 6 figures in value per hour, then I'll probably pause the video. These videos, like I said, YouTube's not really pushing these videos out that far. I have started to post other places. Basically, I make sure there's a ton of extra time so I can get to my client stuff. And if, in fact, the clients aren't asking for stuff, which does happen, and I have some free time, I have several side projects I work on. I mean, one of them's the, optimization of my website, or I'll do more content marketing, or I'll do more lead gen, but there's a huge amount of time where it's basically what we call overflow projects or additional stuff, but they may call me up and say, hey, Matt, I have a problem with this, and assuming I'm not in the middle of something, or at the next logical break, I will go ahead and answer their questions. I should not use this light text on that orange. I should go darker with that. But it's too late now. I've already hit record. Sorry. So lead gen's done. This is another kind of weird thing I do, and this isn't really part of the business, but I try and break up my day by putting a workout in the middle of the day. Now you might say, why not work out first thing in the morning? Well, sometimes I do a little bit of light cardio in the morning, jumping jacks, a lot of things like that, try and get the blood moving. But I fast because I'm getting way too old right now to eat like I did in my 20s and not blow up. So I fast until roughly noon after I'm done working out, and that way my body actually wants the protein there. Just side note here, I encourage everybody to care of your body. If you don't have your body in top shape, then your mind's probably going to struggle a little bit. And I mean, at least I am. Some of you might be Superman or something, but if I'm not fit, if my body's not fit, my brain tends to go to pot as well. So here, Monday is marketing day. Here's something very important here. You'll notice previously I used to do client work all these days, and then on Fridays I would do marketing. Well, I firmly believe that if you want to make your dreams come true, they are the first thing you do every day, and dreams don't come true in night times and weekends. Let me say that again. Dreams do not come true in night times and weekends. They got to be the first thing you do every morning, and you just got to get on it. So I make it so Mondays are somewhat sacred. I try not to schedule any meetings on Mondays. If you go to my Calendly, good luck getting a meeting on Monday, except for very specific high-ticket items. If you're buying one of those high-ticket items, I make a priority for you. But at the same time, I try not to lose my marketing. For years, I've treated my business like a job and not like a business, and I am done with that. So Mondays, just like now, I am content marketing, and and prospecting, lead gen, and all that stuff there. And I apologize if you're offended by any means that my business is a business. I mean, I sell B2B, so if you're buying my stuff, you're in a business. So it's, just kind of the way things work. I understand you're a very adorable little pixel character in my business. No, I'm kidding, but. All right, and then in the evening, somewhere around 5 o'clock, I typically try and unwind for the day and do something extracurricular. And right now, I am somewhat obsessed with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and loving it. So on Monday nights, I face off and eventually get knocked around. And Toby, this is meant to be you, my friend. Toby's one of my sparring partner there, good guy. All right, so let's go ahead and look at how it works on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, which are all very similar. I go ahead and do my overflow projects, and that could be a client project. If you took the nuclear option, then this is you right now. Like I said, I am working on a video course that is a little hush-hush right now, but you'll hear more about it. That is taking up a bunch of my time right now, but if a client calls and I'm, again, not in the middle of filming, then I'm on it. And if I am in the middle of filming, I'm on it the second I'm done filming and probably let the dogs out. That is my overflow projects. Again, so now let's look over here. So my first office hours is from 1 to 3. I did experiment with a full afternoon office hours, and no one actually needed my attention for that long in one run. A lot of times what will happen is they'll come to me with a problem. and we'll do an hour jam on it so I understand the problem, and then I'll go do some research or write up, and then I will basically present them with a solution that will fit their problem or a couple options. A lot of times what I do is help clients understand what they're paying for. Sometimes it's like, oh, we have to do X. Well, X will cost us this much in man hours and this much in just raw money, and Y will cost us this much versus this much. Is the problem we're solving worth more than X or less than Y? And then they've got some options. So that's a big part of what I help clients do, but it's not, I can probably show some of these reports if I anonymize them. But that's what I do, come up with solutions. Then there's office hours 2A, or I should really, I think I've got them called like Tuesday A, Tuesday B, but that's it. And I put a nice little break in the middle so I can make sure I've got some time to prep for this. A lot of times I'm checking out customers' bills, making sure they're not going over them. Or I go look at CloudWatch metrics to see if they're being attacked by some parties that they hadn't counted on attacking them. Lots of little things like that. And of course on Tuesday there's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now on Wednesday it's very similar, except I've got that blocked off for my group coaching. Now I'll be completely honest with you, I have not focused on the group coaching at all for the last probably 6 months or so, because I was so focused on working with my amazing business coach, Jonathan Stark from Ditcherville, who I'd strongly recommend. I'd sing his praises from the sky. I should do a pixel art thing about him, actually, who's helped me completely change my business up. But since I've been connected with more people on the outbound stuff via X that are not business owners, so to say, but they're developers that want to step up their game, or they're startups that, again, can't fit in my one-on-one section. The budget doesn't allow for it, but I still want to make sure they get help. Then they go into the group coaching. And so you'll probably hear more about that as I go. I need to build a landing page for this, actually. I don't have that. All right, Thursdays, pretty similar. I did give this guy a cowboy hat. One of my clients has a lot to do with cows and is kind of a cowboy, so that's them. Shout out to you, you know who you are. And I've actually got an open spot here, so that's just dandy. And Thursdays, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I get whooped. So on Fridays are the day I found most likely to be interrupted by social obligations. My parents have a knack for showing up on Fridays and diverting me from doing work. A lot of other people do as well. So if there is a day where I am actually going to play hooky, it will probably be Friday. But I try not to, especially if I can help it. I will do as much marketing as I can, so it's usually here where it gets cut off a bit, and I forgot to draw something for have fun. The guy doesn't look like he's having much fun. I'll have to rework on that. But for now, just imagine he's having the time of his life. You're having a blast there, bud. Or one thing I forgot to mention when recording this is look at the blue line up there in the middle of overflow at 9 a.m. I forgot to explain that or even label it, but that is when I take a break and make sure that the social media post for the day went out, do some comments, and try and do some engagement there. So there's a little break in there. I try not to stick on it too long. I definitely don't scroll. Here's a tip on X, use lists. Don't ever scroll the main feed. Just create lists of people you want to consume, because you'll get stuck in all sorts of weird stuff. Or stick with communities. So that is 2 parts of my business that are essential that I've developed over the last 2 years, and honestly 10 years, but I've only really been taking it seriously for the last 2 years when I joined Ditcherville, and I'm having a great time. I'll try and put a link to that in the show notes, but hopefully this gets your brain moving on some of the stuff that you could be doing, or at least clever ways you could do to document your business. What are your standard operating procedures? How does your business function? Really, I encourage you, if you are in a situation similar to mine, even if you're just a one-man show like me. I have no employees. I've had them before. I had 12 of them at one point. I am not a good manager. I am a very good technician. I'm great at working with other people, but I am not great at telling people what to do and corralling people like that. I can just, here's the plan, project manager, here's the technical details. I can tell you if they're doing it right or wrong. I can help you with all that stuff, and I can help you correct course. But I'm not HR. I don't know anything about that stuff. So, and now I'm just rambling here. But yes, please think of your business like a business, and get mastermind groups. There's some really good ones out there. Actually, Founders Founders Lab with Nate Ritter. Founders Lab with Nate Ritter is another mastermind group I'm a part of. I think he's kind of rebooting the group, but get on the mailing list for that. Get on the wait list if you're at all interested. And yeah, share your voyage. Build in public, even if it's, and even if you're not building a software as a service, it might help you just to get this stuff down on paper or in pixel art, I guess. So with that said, thank you for watching. Check out all the free stuff I've got at schematical.com/free, and if you need anything, you'll find out how to connect with me via schematical.com. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And tag me in it if you do anything like this where you document it. I'd love to see it. Have a great day. Bye. Someday I'll come up with a sign-off. If I'm pulling the knobs, pressing the buttons, and switching the switchins, if I'm pulling the